My dad and I, when I was 15, I decided that I wanted to climb Mount Rainier, which was something that nobody in my family had ever done. We'd never done anything like that before. And we did that when I was 16 when we finally climbed it. It was this like crazy, it was just an experience that like taught me what my body could do and what the outdoors held.
One time when we were out following sort of an equestrian trail, we came out through this little clearing, and there on the trail in front of us was a big footprint, just there on the trail. And we went up to it, and I remember putting my little like saltwater sandaled foot into the footprint, and my little tiny foot was probably only about the size of its heel. And then my dad put his foot into it, and he's at like a perfect size 10, and I sort of remember the tip of his toes just barely coming up to like where the ball of the foot would be. And it was incredible.
Something we used to do every summer, there was an alpine slide in Vermont. One year we went, and I must have been like 5 or 6 because I rode on the sled with my dad. So he was in the back and I was between his legs. And my brother was on the slide parallel, so there were 2 runs. My dad decided that he wanted to catch my brother because he wanted to win because we're competitive. And so instead of slowing down on the turn, he accelerated and our sled flipped.
My dad grew up in the Philippines, and when he moved to the States, him and his friends took a Winnebago camper across the country. I think it fit like 5 of them. And they drove across the country and camped at all the national parks. His favorites were out west, like Bryce and Zion and Yosemite. And he told me all they had was like salami and bread, because they were just like kind of like dirtbagging it.
My dad in his 20s got really into mountaineering and went and did a snow school on Mount Hood, and then summited Rainier in the early 80s, I think, with Rainier Mountaineering. And so I grew up hearing all those stories throughout my whole childhood. He has like very vivid memories of like waking up at Camp Muir at like 13,000 feet on Rainier at like 2 in the morning and starting for the summit and kind of like watching the sunset, or sunrise rather, over the valley.
I would thank him for holding back on that scientific, skeptical part of his brain and just letting me have this incredible, magical moment and letting me believe, because, you know, as a true Oregonian, I want to believe.
Thanks for being an example not only of, you know, how to be an expert in the outdoors and how to teach people, but how to learn and how to be a student. You know, for him, he just turned 60 and he's still a student in the outdoors. He's learning to mountain bike right now.
I guess I owe so much of my outdoor love to both of my parents. And again, like, we're not hardcore people, we're not ski touring, we're not like climbing crazy walls. But they just kind of always gave me that love and appreciation of the outdoors. Even if the only outdoor activity you're getting is like picking berries in the woods or just going for a walk by the creek.
I would thank my dad for creating opportunities for me to get into the outdoors as a young kid, despite the fact that he grew up in and that I grew up in an very urban environment without very much outdoor access.
He never like scoffed at the fact of like backpacking or traveling. Like, he never thought it was like a waste of time. He thought it was a very valuable experience, especially when he was talking about travel to my brother and I. It was like a very valuable thing. So I hold that very close to me. It's like I think travel and exploration has like become a part of my identity, and I thank my dad for that. So.